That's a good place to stand. Is this a good place to stand right here? Okay. Oh man, happy Wednesday. Man, I hope you had an incredible week. Incredible weekend. This has just been an amazing summer. I know the summer's passed already. Welcome to Stronger Money Mindset. I missed you guys. I really did. We had a lot of things that we went over the last few sessions, talking about budgeting, talking about different things that's going to help prepare you for the summer, but also being a little bit selfish with your money this summer, so you can save to position yourself for home ownership or for investment properties or whatever you want to invest in. Today you're in for a treat. Of course, it's September 27th Eastern Standard Time, and man, if you're listening to this online, go ahead and put a 1 in the comment section. Live, put a 1. If you're listening to the replay, put a 2. Today's session is going to be very, very helpful and also important for you. I want you to pay close attention, and if you have to rewind, do that, because you're going to get a lot of information from this session today. I'm going to go straight into it. For those of you who don't know, I don't want us to be complete strangers. My name is Coach Kev. I'm a life coach, a licensed loan officer. I also help individuals understand how they can have a stronger money mindset. So you could call me a mindset coach, all that good stuff. And how did I become this way, right? Many years of failing. That's just to give it to you straight. Been with my wife for 18 years, have 2 kids, reside in Pembroke Pines, Florida, and my life has changed. I got into this industry of teaching people financial literacy, teaching them about credit, teaching them different ways to maximize their mindset and put them in a mindset of having a money mindset. I always say this is not how much money you have, it's how much money you keep. So today you're going to get a lot of great information on different parts of your life, but one part in particular I want to talk about is home ownership. I remember I used to rent. If you've ever rented before, put R-E-N-T inside of the chat, or you raise your hand if you rented before ever in life. I remember renting. And I didn't know renting was that bad until I saw so many other people buying homes while I was renting. So you may not know renting is an option for you, but also home ownership is as well. And I'm excited to give you this information. Of course, don't forget, every last Wednesday of the month, we're going to be doing this Stronger Money Mindset. You'll be able to come in person at New Jerusalem, or you can check us out online, but it's going to be very, very impactful. So let's dig into it. I want you to understand buying a home is possible. I remember hearing that somewhere, but I didn't believe it. Did you catch that? I remember not believing home ownership was possible. I didn't even know where to start. I didn't know. I just used to hear about becoming a homeowner, but I heard about it in a bad way, right? You ever hear somebody start to complain about every 5 minutes they gotta pay for something, they gotta buy something, they gotta fix something? I was scared. I was like, man, I might as well let the landlord do all that for the same $1,300. So I want you to think about home ownership different, but it is possible for you. There's so many benefits. There's so many advantages to home ownership. And when you're thinking about a home, it's not just going to be a single family home. For some of you, you may get a manufactured home. For some of you, you may get a trailer. For some of you, you may get a jumbo loan. Some of you, you want to get a condo or townhouse, whatever fits your budget. And remember, things may change. Right now, I have 2 kids, Kevin and Kayla, 15 and 16. I remember when they was 4 and 5, right? We was good in the condo until my son started growing taller than me, right? His legs is hanging off of the bunk bed, right? So we had to upgrade. But I had to really believe that home ownership was possible. And I want you to know that this is going to be a game changer for you. You're here in person, it's going to be a game changer for you. You're online, it's going to be a game changer for you. So I want you to think about, there's some facts around home ownership. I want you to read with me. Home ownership, there's advantages and disadvantages to home ownership. Now, it's going to change over time, because there's some people right now saying to themselves, man, I don't see an advantage into home ownership right now, because you know what they're looking at? The interest rates. Here's what I want to share with you. Did you know in the 1980s and parts of the 90s, interest rates was double digits? You would be excited about your opportunity right now if you knew that. And I want you to process that. People always ask me, Coach, when is a good time to buy a house? And I give them the most simplest answer: when you can qualify. It's that simple. And you never know if you can qualify if it's not on your radar. So home ownership is definitely available for you, but I want you to understand there's advantages and disadvantages. Buying your first home is going to require planning. It took my wife and I 2 years. I hope you heard that. It took us 2 years to actually walk and step foot in our home. What were we doing prior to that? Preparing. We had to create a real plan. Can somebody say real plan? Real plan. We literally had to create a real plan. I couldn't go out to eat anymore. I couldn't go to the basketball games. I had to put every extra bit of money aside to save. And that was hard. Ladies, I know it's hard for y'all too. You know, Macy's everywhere. You know, I see y'all, right? It was hard, but I put myself in a position. I was disciplined, and without my right-hand woman, Mrs. Blake, there's no way we would have pulled that off, because she definitely kept me in line. She said, "Now, baby, you don't need those plantain chips, do you?" I'm like, it's $4. And then she would pull out her calculator, show me how much it's going to be for the next 20 years. I'm like, oh, Lord. But it helped me understand every single purchase made a difference towards me saving. So I want you to think about that, create a real plan. There's going to be a checklist. You know, one of the things that I did, it's interesting, the house that we're in right now, it's so powerful when you actually envision yourself owning a home, and then you start to move towards that vision with just straight belief inside. See, God told me I was going to have a home. I ain't even believe God, because I was so stuck in where I was, I couldn't even envision myself. So I remember right after we get the kids out of the school, we'll go into a neighborhood down here in South Florida called Southwest Ranches. Now, I know for some of you like, where is Southwest Ranches? And some of you know exactly where Southwest Ranches is. You ever dream, right? You just driving by, you're like, man, I know they pay more in lawn service than I'm paying in my car note. But I was dreaming. I went from renting to creating a reality every single day. And guess who got involved? The kids. And think about this. If you really serious about your goal, tell your kids. They're going to hold you accountable. My son came to me every single month. Daddy, you told me we was going, and that's my namesake. So I'm definitely going to show out for him. And he said, Daddy, you said we were going to have a home. Year after year passed by, and I had to buckle down. But I want you to know, envision, and for me it was Southwest Ranches. For you it may be Western, it may be a Fort Lauderdale, it may be Los Olas. You might want to go to Pembroke Pines. You might want to come to Hollywood. But my point to you is, envision where you want to go. Drive in that area. There's no limit, right? Pastor tells us all the time, it's a limitless God. I think sometimes we go off our own understanding and we put ourselves in what we already had, not even seeing what's possible for us. We have to put ourselves in a position to win, and think about where you want to be and travel to those places and have confidence in that area. Realize how much you can qualify for. That was a big thing. I remember my wife telling me, all right, babe, we're looking for something for 400 to 600. Here I go. I'm in the millions. $800,000. She brought me back to reality. She said, hello, boo-boo. Your credit not that good. You're going to have to double up. And I did. But I remember the reality check. And you know what else the reality check did for me? It humbled me. It made me really understand that it's stepping stones, right? Sometimes you can't go from renting to the mansion if that's what you want, or renting to a 4.2. Maybe you may have to start off with a 3.2 and then upgrade. Maybe you need to start off with a condo and then upgrade. A quick story. One of my friends, she bought a little itty bitty condo. Me and my wife, like, I don't know. Now we was talking about this on the side. I said, why they went and bought that itty bitty condo? Now, while I'm saying that, they building what's called equity. They're building value. And I never forget when we said, we're going to purchase a home. By that time, they had already purchased their second home. And guess what they did with that little itty bitty condo I was laughing about? They rented it out, and that same money from the itty bitty condo paid the big mortgage. Did you catch that? It changed everything for me. So I want you to just think about that, process it, understand what is your budget? What could you actually afford? Don't live in the clouds like I did, because somebody will bring you down quickly. There's so many different government loans you can benefit from. Most people don't know these home loans. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of these loans. But remember, it's the American dream to become a homeowner. And just think about, I don't want to go grim on you, but just think about what the families generationally dealt with in Hawaii. Think about that. Think about how much the land is worth spiritually. Hundreds of families displaced, but somebody made a decision to become a homeowner and pass it on and on and on. This is the opportunity for you to do the same exact thing. But I want you to know, in America, we talk about the American dream, but I don't know if we all take it seriously. People are dying to get here, and we're already here. Now, I want you to think about something. You want to not only purchase your home, but you want to put yourself in a position to continue to invest into your home when you finally get it. Remember, this is not, you can't just do anything to the carpet. This is your home. This is your place. And there's ways that you can invest into it. There's ways that you can put money into it. You can add a pool. You can put a fence up. Did you know if you have a brand new roof or some impact windows, your home is worth more? I didn't know that. I did not even know that. So it's also an investment. Every decision you make is definitely an investment. Now, I want you to think about this. Some of the advantages we have, we get a chance to pay taxes. And I know you're saying to yourself, well, what you mean, Coach, I pay enough taxes? You get an opportunity to pay taxes because that puts you in the position to go to some of these meetings. All because you're a homeowner. Do you know I can go down to these meetings and fight for certain things because I am a taxpayer? I don't just vote. Home ownership puts you in a whole nother position. But you have to be ready to make those different sacrifices. And over time, you will understand every single dollar. See, when I was paying rent and I was paying $1,300, I just paid it. When I pay that mortgage, well, I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to paying that bad boy off. And if you know anything like I know, you do not want to be paying that mortgage forever. I'm about to have somebody Airbnb in them other rooms. As equity builds, you can upgrade to a larger home, just like the example I just gave you. Now remember, there are also individuals that leverage the equity. So what is equity, right? So let's say, for instance, let me just give you my perfect example. So when we got our home, it was the lady the lady, you know, she was trying to pimp us. But she didn't know I was from the streets. I negotiate. So the final number was $495,000 for the home. And she ended up getting appraised. She thought it was going to appraise for more. And she said, I'm not leaving with nothing less than this. And we said, okay, as long as we can get that washer and dryer and that fridge inside of the garage, we're going to do it. And I remember that was at a 3.2 interest rate. Think about what the interest rates are right now. It's double. Here's why this story is important. A year later, the home from $495, value increased to $580 within a year. That's equity. So all that extra little money, guess what I could do with it? I could take some out. I could borrow against it. I can leverage it, right? And I can invest into a property. I can invest into a business. I can pay off credit cards if I had them that big. But my point to you is that decision I made a year or two ago put me in a position to leverage. And when you're renting, you're missing out on a lot of opportunity. And one of the things that I love about home ownership, it creates a community. Now, I've been in communities where everybody was renting. I've been in those. But also, it's a difference when you're in a community where everyone is a homeowner. They move different. They're in a yard different. They manicure their lawns different. They take pride in certain things. And luckily, we don't have something called an HOA. So as you're going on your mission to purchase your home, I want you to think about HOA. Now, for some of you, you have no idea what an HOA is. If you pay an HOA, raise your hand. Okay. All right. They hitting you every month. Now, HOA is a monthly requirement that you're going to pay this association to make sure the neighborhood is clean. Right? Make sure all the grass is cut. Make sure there's a guard gate, right? All that good stuff comes from the HOA. The paint, right? You ever go in the neighborhood and almost all the homes look the same? You're like, wait, it's the same architect. They got a HOA. So as you're looking for your home eventually, one of the things that I had on my list was no HOA. That was hard to do in Florida because they have gated communities everywhere. It was nothing but God how we got this house. I'm telling you. So as you're building, think about the HOA. Those are some things that you got to incorporate, not just your monthly payment. Now, there's some disadvantages. That's really not disadvantages to own a home. You're going to have to pay more. I went from $1,300 a month to $3,000. Yikes. Yikes. But if you subtract the $1,300 from the $3,000, that's really like $1,700, right? That's a $1,700 difference. So I broke that $1,700 into 4 weeks. That's how much I knew I had to save a little extra. So I want you to just think about that. If you can afford rent, you could definitely afford a home loan. You just have to believe it and put that money aside. The other thing I had to get used to as a new homeowner was things always break. I remember the fridge went out, the stove went out, and the dishwasher went out all at the same time. I almost went back ran. I was this close. And then we got the fridge, we got the dishwasher, we got the stove, and then guess what else went out once we got everything from Brandsmart? The microwave. And I couldn't get the microwave I had back at my old condo, you know, the one for $30 at Walmart. I couldn't do that. Because it gotta be the fancy one. You know what I'm talking about. It look like it's built in. And then I said to myself, self, you gonna save money. Put that microwave up. By the time I was done with YouTube University, I realized this was a two-man job. I said, oh no. I'll never forget when the guy came, I took pictures of him and the other guy. I tells the guys, like, I was thinking about, my wife had me convinced I was Bob the Builder. I could do this. He's like, sir, this is a two-man job. I said, I figured that out. But as I was investing money into that microwave, it was a different feeling from when I was renting, because it was my home. It's a whole different feeling. All those extra things you got to pay is going to be worth it. I was thinking about this quote when I left church this weekend. And think about it. You can't do big things if you're distracted by small things. How are you going to do something big if the small things are distracting you? I remember one day I had to go do a presentation. My wife stopped me at the door to fix a light. I consider that a small thing right now. She tried to distract me. So you got to be aware of the distractions. Maybe you want to become a homeowner and someone is distracting you, telling you, you can't be no homeowner. Not right now, because they're not a homeowner. That's not true. It's not. And I remember getting distracted I had something to do every month. Every week I had something to do. And I was so distracted. And every single time I had to pay that rent, it recalibrated me. It reminded me of why I needed to stay on focus. Because what was my big goal? I needed to get this house. I needed to get this house. It's important. Now, I remember the last few sessions we came, I showed you guys this. I get a lot of feedback because this slide is the famous slide that woke me up. It woke me up. I'll never forget. $1,300 a month for 5 years, $78,000. I almost dropped my phone when I did the numbers. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. This was a big one for me, and I'm not sure if you've ever seen this before, but you might want to add it up. And some of you have been written way longer than I have, and it's okay, because where you are right now is not where you're going to stay. But this is a reminder of if you can put money into rent, you can put money into a mortgage for yourself. You just got to believe it. And I think a lot of people don't believe it. Look at this example. The 1,600, you can't get a 3.2, 1,600. You can't even get a 2.2 at 1,600. Imagine you paying $1,600 a month for 5 years. That's $96,000. The numbers will scare you. You want to prepare yourself for home ownership? You want to attend these type of sessions, Stronger Money Mindset? You want to go on YouTube? You want to talk to homeowners? Talk to homeowners. Now, don't allow them to scare you. They almost scared me out of home ownership. Every 5 minutes, they was telling me you got to buy something. But I'm telling you, it's worth it. But talk to different homeowners so you can understand that if they did it, you can do it, and you just got to believe it. Now, one of the things that I did before I became a homeowner is I started paying off debt. I had to go heavy on that. I started working on my credit. I started being disciplined in the things that I wanted to do. And before I started paying off debt, I figured out a way to cut every extra thing or experience, because when my accountant looked at everything, he kept saying, boy, you sure love these restaurants. Man, y'all travel a lot. He said, you're going to have to stop. I said, for how long? Well, until you want to get your house. I say less. So I put myself in a position to save, pay off debt. I started attacking my wife debt. And then I started doing this automatic save. I'm sure you guys remember I told you a few sessions, you want to figure out whatever day, if you get paid on Thursday, if you get paid on Friday, you get paid every week or every 2 weeks, figure out a way where automatically the money comes from your checking to your savings, and open up another account that you have so it can automatically go. Remember who's mastered this? The government. You ever look at your check? One time I saw that check, I said, who was FICA? And where she come from? She broke everything up. I didn't want to give that much. But she came faithfully. You could master the same process. You could beat FICA. All right? But I remember I had to be disciplined. Get your credit report. There's a annualcreditreport.com. Every single American get a free credit report annually, every single year. You can go to Experian. You can go to anywhere, really. Equifax.com, TransUnion.com, Experian.com. You just get your credit. Once you get your credit report, you can figure out what's on there. I didn't know that my brother put I don't know what type of loan it was, in my name. See, here's what I used to do. I used to check Credit Karma. Y'all know about Credit Karma. Oh, y'all gonna act bougie? I'm the only one know about credit. I know you know about Credit Karma. Credit Karma. Credit Karma only shows you what's on Equifax and TransUnion. It doesn't show you what's on your Experian account. So I didn't know I had negative items on my Experian account from my dear old brother. I love you, brother. Thank you. If you're watching this, brother, thank you. I appreciate you. You taught me a lot. And every single year, even after you get your house, continue to monitor your credit, because things may pop up on your credit report that you don't know. Let's talk a little bit about FHA. We always hear about FHA, okay? And I remember in the 1930s, when FHA was created, it was really created to help increase home ownership. And between the 1930s and the 1968, 98% of the home loans went to white families. 98% of FHA home loans went to white families. And it's okay, my white family, my brothers and sisters, it's all good. But I want you to understand that it's for you right now. This is an opportunity for you, this FHA, and you can leverage it. Now, there's some pros and cons with FHA, okay? They say the minimum credit score you can go in is a 580. I'm telling you, as your coach, do not walk up in there with no 580. Go 680, 700, 660, so you can have a lot more flexibility, okay? Because if you and I go in, and I got a 680 and you got a 580, I promise you I'm gonna beat you 100% of the time. So even though it's the minimum, don't shoot for the minimum. Go for the maximum. And you wanna make sure you have your debt to income ratio. What is debt to income ratio? What is that? Well, in simple terms, let's say you bring in $5,000 a month, but all your bills is $6,000 a month. You over your debt to income ratio. And that's the simplest way. You could go on Google and get all the technical terms. But if you have more money going out than coming in, you over something. And the bank don't like that. They're not gonna trust you're gonna pay that. So you wanna start working on your debt right now, okay? Very important, go for that FHA loan. It'll put you in the position. And especially if you don't have a lot of money. Maybe you want to do a small down payment. FHA is a good way to go. But I do want to give you a tip. If you do decide to go FHA, try to put 20% down still. Try to put 10% down anyway. There's benefits to that. Conventional. So this is the loan we got a chance to get. Not everybody can go conventional, because you got to put a nice hefty down and your credit score has to be great. but there's some benefits to go conventional. Now, you're going to hear all the time FHA. And as you can see with conventional, you can't have your debt to income ratio can't be in the 40s. It actually needs to be even lower than 20 if I had to give you a good amount. But 30 is fine, 33 is fine. But the least amount of debt you have is the better. Okay? And let me talk a little bit about insurance. So as you're building your income up and trying to figure out your budget, think about insurance. As I mentioned to you earlier, think about the HOA fees. Just think about unexpected expenses because you just never know. So continue to save. Continue to monitor your spending and be disciplined with it. But conventional, go online, do a little bit of research on conventional loan. I think this would be a good one for you. This is one of my favorites, actually, the VA loan. If you're a veteran, this would be good for you. I remember I was talking to a young lady. The lady was swearing me down. She gonna get the FHA loan. I said, ma'am, this is what I do, okay? I'm telling you. I said, you're a veteran. She said, I know I'm a veteran, but my friend told me FHA. I said, is your friend a homeowner? Guess what she said? No. No. I said, ma'am, I'm telling you, go VA. You're a veteran. There's so much benefit. And most veterans, when they hear the fact that there's no down payment, they're like, what do I sign? What do I need to do? I didn't even know this existed. Guys, I'm telling you, these Stronger Money Mindset sessions, there are people that pay a lot of money for courses and trainings and all these things where you're getting it here for free 99. But it only works if you apply it. I tell people all the time, knowledge is not power. It's not power. Pastor can tell us all he wants. If we don't apply it, the 10 Commandments could be in your face all you want. If you don't apply it, there's no mortgage insurance. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about mortgage insurance. So you remember I was telling you $495, we got the house, equity went up, it went up $580. Guess what else happened? So at conventional, if you don't have at least 20% equity in a home, you got to pay this insurance. This is why I'm so glad I followed through and got the home. Equity went up on the home. The insurance, we literally reached out to the company and said, hey, we got more than 20% equity on this home. Can you go ahead and remove this insurance for me, please? They did an appraisal. They said, hold on, let's check first. It was over it. They said, yes. That saved us another $300. So this insurance, you don't have to deal with it if you're a VA, if you're a veteran. But for me, at conventional, I needed to have that. Not everybody's a veteran, okay? I want you to just think about that. And anybody you know who's a veteran, let them know. 20% down, conventional. You can buy down different points. You can basically pay more money to help soften the interest rate if you really want to do that. But I want you to be smart about everything that you're doing because getting these home loans, in my opinion, is not difficult once you know what you're doing. If you go to any cook, any chef, when they first started cooking, they actually, well, maybe not my mom or my grandma, but they looked at ingredients. There's a format you got to follow to get what you want. As you start to go through these processes, as you start to understand the importance of home ownership, it's going to be unconscious competence for you. You'll be able to tell someone, look, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this after you've gone through that. So I don't think the home ownership is a challenge. Think about this. If you're renting, think about this. Guess what we got to come up with when you rent? First, last, insecurity. That could be a down payment. There's down payment assistance. There's programs that you could benefit from. Counties have programs that you could benefit from. But you just got to do that homework. But it first comes with the belief that you can become a homeowner. I remember it like it was yesterday. I did not believe. And then the moment I started to believe, things opened up. You got closing costs. You have so many other things. I don't want to scare you with that. But remember, at closing, everything gets transferred over to you. But did you know that, let's say, for instance, you're at the closing table, you're excited, you got the wine, you're ready to go. And you forgot that prior to coming to that meeting, you applied for a credit card. Did you know that can take you out? Because guess what? They're going to run your credit. Your score is going to go up or down. It's going to go down because that's an inquiry, and you can lose the opportunity to close on your home. I've even heard of stories where individuals, a few days from the closing, their credit score is up, they got money in their account, and guess what they going to do? They going to get a car. They gonna get a car. They're that excited. Man, let me go get this car. I'm gonna go get a car. You gonna sleep in the car too? You gonna sleep in the car? You're that excited. Don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake. Or here's one last one. They're at the closing table. They got the wine. They got the kids. Everybody's excited. But guess what they gonna do? They go to rooms to go get the furniture. How you gonna get the furniture? You ain't even get the house yet. You ain't even get the house yet. How you picking out bunk beds? These are the challenges. And if I don't tell you this, you may do it. So wait till you in the house, okay? Before you do anything. Closing's gonna be interesting. I'm not sure what just happened. Ooh, I like this one. We all know about Susan Orman. I remember 2, 3 in the morning one day, years ago, I first heard about Susan Orman. Y'all know about Susan Orman. Well, if you got a retirement, you heard about Susan Orman. She's going to tell you every way to use that retirement, what you need to do, how you need to do it, how you need to get your kids rich, how you need to get your kids rich. If you follow her simple system and just buy her book for another $19.99. But she's a very, very wise woman. She said owning a home is a keystone of wealth, both financial. See, I think a lot of people don't realize home ownership is the building block of building wealth. Think about how many wealthy people purchased homes years ago or purchased lands years ago and it's still in their family. Or they borrow against it to go get another home. It allows you to have that emotional security. You ever had a bad day and you just say, man, I just want to go home. Anybody ever said that? I said it before. It's something about you just feel good. You home. It gives you that security, but if you don't invest the time into that. Now remember, as you're traveling to these different places, you're going to connect with realtors. You're going to connect with what I like to call LOs or loan officers. But one of the most important things you need to do, drive around in what neighborhood you want to live in. That's very important. And drive at night too, because there was some places I drove in the daytime. It was different at night. It was different, a little different. And the realtor and the loan officer, so the realtor is the one that's going to help you find a home. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I found my home. I was in every neighborhood ready. And I looked on Zillow. I looked on all these websites every single day. I said, that's my house. You remember you say, that's my car? That's my house. That's my house. No, that's my house. And I remember when I walked in that house, I told the realtor, I said, this is my house. And I just start walking around. My wife didn't tell me this until we bought the house. She said, you know what that realtor said? Your husband gonna come in here and say, this is his house. I finally called that realtor back and said, I told you this was my house. We were so prepared. Everything was on point. Credit, savings. We knew what we wanted. We had the realtor there. We had the loan officer there. And we believed. Homework. Simple homework. We know we have our next session the last Wednesday of the month. But here's simple homework. Tell someone you could become a homeowner. Do you know if you tell somebody that, they'll just smile? Try that this week. I promise you they will smile, or somebody will say, thank you. I've been praying about that. Sometimes we need confirmation. I believe that God speaks to us through people. So tell them. Write down what you desire. Now, I wanna give you a disclaimer with that part. I wrote a lot of stuff down. I wrote a lot of stuff down. I remember I was gung-ho on the pool. I'm like, that's, that's, if he don't have no pool, if you walk in here and don't got no pool, we leave it right now. Do you know the house I bought doesn't have a pool? You're going to have to compromise. So when you write down your list, be okay with it being a soft list. Some stuff you're going to have to just put in pencil. It's okay. You know what I traded in for the pool? A new roof and some impact windows. Think about that. The impact windows in the roof increase the value of the home. And it's easy. The insurance company, they like that. You got a new roof and impact. Boy, okay, sir. But I had the pool on my list. But I took the impact windows and the roof. So when you're writing your list, when you have something specific, write it down. Another thing I traded in, I wanted like my front yard is big, but I wanted it to fit 10 cars. Here I go. Mine fit 8 now. I wanted 10. That was a deal breaker. I know y'all laughing at me like, boy, you don't get out of here. What I got in replace of that is my own home office. It was funny. My wife wrote down home office, not even write that down. I said, well, babe, why you wrote down home office? She said, I'm tired of you doing these meetings in the living room. I said, oh. So write down exactly what you want, because you never know how it's going to manifest. Last homework, just straight mindset, believe it's possible. As I told you on the onset at the beginning, I did not believe home ownership was possible, like at all. I didn't believe it. I was talking to the wrong people. If I would have saw some of this information I gave y'all today, it would have made me feel a little bit more better about it. And I would have been a little bit more excited about it. But I'm telling you, the money that you're investing into rent, it's okay right now. But just be mindful that where you are, you're not going to stay there. And you have to see yourself owning your own home. And when you do, you're going to remember some of the stuff I'm telling you today. You're going to remember the examples I'm giving you. And if I had to leave you with something, one home is cool, But did you know you can have 2 homes? Did you know you're considered a first-time home buyer every 3 years? So guess what you could do? You can get a condo, you can get a townhouse and be a first-time home buyer. And then you can get another one or a single family home 3 years later and still be considered a first-time home buyer. Most people don't know that. And that's something that you have to do a little bit more research as you get better. But for now, if I had to give you these tips, save, bring down your debt, don't allow anybody to leverage your credit, don't run your credit, don't become a co-signer for anyone, be disciplined about what you're doing, pray, ask God to guide you on what to do. I remember doing that so many days, so many nights. I remember when I was about to relapse in Walmart, I said, Lord, I need you to hold me right now. I knew I wasn't supposed to spend that $160 in Walmart, but I was not thinking. So every ounce of fiber in your body, have the mindset that you have a goal. Don't let those small things distract you from the big goal. Your big goal is home ownership. Your big goal is showing your kids home ownership. Your big goal is showing your grandkids home ownership. Your big goal is leaving a will, not a bill. It's important. I remember the first time Mike Tyson, everybody remember the first time Mike Tyson got knocked out? I remember when Mike Tyson, for those of you who don't know what Mike Tyson, he's a famous boxer. At one point, he was stepping in the ring and knocking him out in 2 minutes or less. Here's what happened. Somebody knocked out Mike Tyson. I think it was Evander Holyfield. Knocked out Mike Tyson, and guess what happened? He continued to get knocked out after that. So somebody saw it was possible. Usain Bolt, what did he do? He broke the world record. After he broke it, I think Carl Lewis broke it before him. After he broke it, guess what? 10 people broke it after him and set new records because they saw it was possible. When you become a homeowner, your kids, your grandkids, your nieces, your nephews, they're going to see it's possible. Your brother, your sister, they're going to see it's possible, but you got to believe. And as I told you at the beginning, my wife and I were preparing for our home for 2 years. 2 years. Just be patient with the process. And as you plug into these stronger money mindsets, as you plug into understanding how you can shift your mind, so many things are going to unfold for you, but is it going to be important for you to pass that on to somebody else? This is exactly what I'm doing right now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for coming today. And I'm telling you, when you become a homeowner, it's going to change your entire life. The opportunities are endless, and it will be a journey, and it's going to be some ups and downs, emotional roller coaster. Just hold on for the ride, and I promise you it's going to be all right. I'll see you guys next month on the next session. We love you. Good night.